Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and as promised, today we are going to be looking at all the TD armor changes in the upcoming update. So previously we've done medium and lights, and of course we've done heavies, so don't forget to check those videos out if you haven't. So let's get right into it, guys, because in update 10.3, there's going to be new armor profiles that are going to be changed, and today we're discussing all the TD changes, the nerfs, and the buffs that are going to be applied to all of these new tanks. So let's begin, and we're going to be looking at the E4 first. So the E4 is getting an HD buff, right? So it's going to be now in an HD model. And of course, the armor hasn't really necessarily changed. The only thing is that this tank has a smaller cupola now at the very top, which is of course nicer because you're not going to be hit there as often as before. So apart from that, you don't necessarily have any crazy changes, apart from the fact that the turret ring has also been patched up, so you can no longer be penned in the turret ring anymore either. So apart from that, we don't necessarily have any crazy changes regarding the E4. Now, if we look at the Object 268, we can see a clear nerf in this regard. The upper part of the hull has been pretty weakened, so has the lower part of the hull, and this is quite a shame because I thought the 268 was pretty cool like this, and of course, if you wiggled a little bit too much, then your armor could be pinned quite easily, especially with gold as well. So I don't necessarily see as to why this tank needs to have its armor cut. But of course, this is Wargaming, and there's not necessarily much we can say when it comes to their decisions, right? Next, we're going to be looking at the Object 263. And in this regard, there hasn't been too much of a change. A little bit of the hull area was kind of patched up, so you can no longer hit some shots into there. But apart from that, the armor profile is more or less pretty much the same. So there's not too much to really discuss when it comes to the 263. And I don't necessarily think this tank is that popular to sort of make crazy changes to it. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't necessarily know that many players who would say, oh, I love the Object 263. It's one of my favorite tanks out there. Now, if we look at the Death Star, guys, this is where the most interesting stuff happens because Wargaming really promised us a brand new Death Star. And in this regard, not a lot has changed, even though on paper, they do kind of say, yeah, the Death Star is going to have crazy good armor. It doesn't necessarily get this amazing armor, which it does say it would get on paper. The hull is still very, very weak. The turret has a little bit more red spots in it. I'm going to agree in this regard, but it's not like the Death Star is now going to be able to block a lot of shots. They said they would increase the hull armor, which never really happened. And I'm pretty sure you can still smash right through the Death Star's armor very easily. Maybe in some cases with a light tank or a medium tank, without extra penetration, under certain angles you might be able to bounce more, but let's be honest, any other heavy tank is literally going to smash right through you. Now we're going to be looking at the Horiz, and in this case, the Horiz armor has been patched up very, very well. The Horiz would used to suffer from a lack of armor, especially in the upper part of the hull, where it would be sort of red, but still be pennable. But now the Horiz actually has good armor, and it only has a few weak spots from the front. And I'm really happy about this, because now the Horiz is not going to be some pushover like it used to be when it came to the armor profile. And I'm very, very happy about this. Now, same with the WZ-113 GFT. This is, of course, the Chinese Tier 10 tank destroyer. And in this case, the armor was also increased more or less all around. But again, in practice, it hasn't necessarily changed that much. The lower plate is still quite weak, but the upper hull is quite more reluctant to be penned by gold shells, maybe for mediums and, light tanks. But for heavies and a lot of other tanks, nothing really has changed that much. Even though nominally on paper, it does say that the armor did get more or less increased. Apart from that, I don't necessarily think there are that many other changes to TDs. Maybe I've missed something out. But I think this update has more changes to lights and heavies, of course. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 3-video episode of how the armor profiles on tanks have changed. Again, thank you to Evil Blackberry for providing a lot of screenshots. And with that, happy is out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.